The White House has released the new budget. Joining us now, Monica Crowley, who is currently with the Treasury Department. Welcome back, Monica. Good to see you.
Hi, Stuart. Nice to be here.
Look, I've seen the Wall Street Journal headline on the budget. It says White House budget hits the safety net. Cuts of 26% to the EPA, cuts to food stamps. Do you see it like that? You've hit the safety net?
Well, when the president entered office, Stuart, he promised to revive the U.S. economy through tremendous economic growth and rebuild America's military capabilities. He is delivering on both of those promises. But the president also understands that Washington's habit of out-of-control spending without consequence has to be stopped before it threatens the economic prosperity that we're all enjoying as a direct result of his common-sense pro-growth economic policies. So he has proposed a budget that will bring, or at least aims to reduce deficits by $4.6 trillion over the next 10 years and brings the budget into balance over the next 15 years. It also strives to bring our budgets back into historical averages in terms of the spending that the government is doing, keeps taxes low, and also targets wasteful and unnecessary spending. So the administration believes if you pair that kind of spending restraint, which we really haven't seen, that kind of spending restraint with the kind of pro-growth economic policies that are delivering this booming economy, that will keep the U.S. economy thriving.
Of course, it is a broad outline at this point, and Speaker Pelosi has rejected it already, actually before she even saw it. But let me move on to tax cuts 2.0. Vice President Pence had something to say about that. Roll tape, please.
Oh, they're absolutely coming. I expect we'll be talking about that before this election year is out. It's one of the reasons why we're going to focus so much energy on making sure that not only do we get President Donald Trump 4 more years in this White House, but we're going to make sure that we re-elect a Republican Senate and elect a Republican House of Representatives.
Monica, now you're at the Treasury. You know what's going on. Can you tell us any more about what kind of tax cuts and for whom the president's making these proposals?
Well, last year, the president tasked his economic advisors, including the vice president, Secretary of the Treasury, Steven Mnuchin, Larry Kudlow as chief economic advisor, with coming up with tax points 2.0. So we had the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act, which was signed into law late 2017, helping to deliver this booming economy. And the president said, you know what, that's not enough. I want to boost growth even more. So he's tasked his economic advisors with coming up with a new set of proposals. What the vice president and Mr. Kudlow have both talked about publicly is that the president would like to aim a new round of tax cuts directly to the middle class to boost growth and prosperity for them. And what the vice president and Larry Kudlow have talked about is perhaps new adjustments in the tax brackets, which were already reduced through the 2017 Tax Cuts and Jobs Act. So we'll see what they come up with. But the vice president is right that the idea that it would be passed this year with a Democratic Congress is not very likely. And so he's making both an economic and a political case going forward after 2020 that in order to keep this prosperity going, we really should, the president is really intent on making sure that he is the political environment after this year in order to get it done.
And he's got to get re-elected. Good stuff. All right. Thanks very much for joining us again, Monica. Always good to see you. Thanks very much.
Always a pleasure, Stuart. Thanks.
See you soon.